Welcome to Inside the Wires, hands down, the best podcast in all of racket sports. Listener discretion may be advised for a younger audience.
All right, welcome back to Inside the Wires. I know it's been a while since we recorded and plenty of people have asked about how come, and today you'll find out how come it's been a while. But we have a fun episode, and we have some exciting new people joining us this week, as you can see on the screen. So here we are. Here we go.
I tell you what, holy shit, Graham is playing well this year so far.
Yeah.
I watched him and who is he playing with the other week? They played against Durrani and Lambo.
Oh no.
No. It was
league.
It was a league match, and Graham came off and he's like, "That's the best match I've ever played." He was cracking the ball. It was unbelievable. I can't remember who he played with. He was amazing.
He's dialed in.
Yeah, he was playing great.
I mean,
So
you want to talk about someone that's playing sick, though. Look no further than that screen right there with the backwards hat.
No, I'm not playing that well. Come on.
No, that hurts. I thought he was talking about you and I. He'd been watching
That's
some
right.
shitty paddle and assumed it was you and I.
I got to tell you, those are some. I was watching. Obviously, Nobu got a front row seat, man. But Baltimore, Eric and Tyler were. When I turned in, you guys were ripping the rollers. That was impressive.
Yeah,
Obviously, great tournament.
Crazy thinking, almost losing first round too.
Yeah, what you went 3 sets in that first round? Who was that against? Was that against Tin and Tommy?
Tin and Tommy, they had us. They had us dead to rights.
That's a
So what do you think happened? Like what was going on there? I mean, obviously those guys are solid players, but were you guys not playing well? Were they playing really well? Or what went in there?
I think early season jitters. I mean, it was Tyler and I's first match. Like I haven't even played a league match up until Baltimore. It was Tin and Tommy's third tournament. I think they came off. I think they lost in the finals at Sound Shore, or they either won it the week before. So you could tell they had a lot of confidence. And just like I was missing returns, Tyler was missing cutters. Like it was just like it was just a shitstorm, and they just played solid. And now I'll say this too: this was probably they're starting to truly play paddle out there. They were disciplined.
Yeah.
They were waiting for the right shot, and they won the first set. I think it was 6-3, and we just kept it close in the second. We kept it closer, and finally at 5-all, we got a break, and then we held to go up 6-5, and then we broke Tommy to win the second set, and then fortunately we got our groove going in third set, and then quarterfinals started playing a little bit better. Semifinals played really well, and then finals probably the best paddle we could ask for. So it was just funny thinking how we were points away from being a shitty tournament to probably one of the best results Tyler and I have had.
Those guys are playing well. They put on a good run at charities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tyler and I were joking, like, that's credit to you, Nobu. Like, holy shit, like, this was a first round matchup of an APTA tour event.
I was going to ask, who the fuck did that draw? You got Burish and Madek against Bostrom and Rams first round? What the
Hands
fuck?
up, don't shoot, bro. Hands up,
Who
don't shoot.
did that draw?
It wasn't me.
God.
That's all the APTA, right? You send them the names, or they give the names, and they put the whole draw, right?
Yeah, it's just a draw call, really. And they just put it together. And
so my question though is why did you guys only play 6? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Isn't that based on the number of teams that are in the draw?
Yeah, I think that was based on the number of teams. Again, I really didn't have anything to do with the draw.
I'm almost positive that's all APTA. Like,
it is 100%. But why? Like, why are we only placing 6? I get it. There's only 16 teams, but you got to place the top 8. But
Yeah, I mean, I almost think inherently that's one of the pros and cons. Like especially Baltimore, that's such a cool tournament that a lot of people want to go. Like there are such good teams in that tournament that like you were going to have a
Right.
bad slash good first round match there. You know that maybe shouldn't have been in another tournament, right? But it's just the strength of the draw, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a single team, I don't think, that as a pair wasn't top 35 or better. So, that's a pretty legit. The draw was legit. I mean, you had matchups in the first round that obviously you'd see potentially in the semis of a Grand Prix. I mean, it was crazy.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
I mean, Sam and I were talking about it when the draw was released, and we were like, "Oh my god! Like, I can't believe some of these first round matches are crazy." Like, it was nuts. But yeah, I felt bad seeing that draw.
You already have people signing up for next year for Baltimore?
I think so. I mean,
Not
again,
Mardik and Sven. They said, fuck you people in Baltimore. I'm not doing that shit.
That's such a good tournament. I mean, second year doing it, they're doing so many good things. Like people love that tournament. There's tons of prize money. I mean, it's just a great tournament.
I mean, Sam, all credit to Sam. Sam kills it. And
Sam Byram for those listening.
Sam Byram, yep, sorry. And I thought the club did a great job again hosting and putting good food out again. TJ did a good job with the food. TJ's our EC. I think the environment is fun too, right? Like the Baltimore paddle community does a good job of coming out and supporting. I mean, we had probably 250 people at one time during the early part of the afternoon into late afternoon. Bleachers were filled. We had people sitting on the hill. Like, I mean, the energy was great. And I remember from 2 years ago when I played with Tomas, I mean, it's a lot of fun to play in that environment. And I think that's something that the APTA kind of needs to, in my opinion, figure out a little bit better, right? Like, I feel like it would be more fun for the players and probably get a bigger draw, bigger prize money if you can start really driving your local paddle communities to really come out and support. I mean, there's no reason why every tournament, every tour event shouldn't have, north of 150, 200 people watching.
Yeah, but Nobu, I think the best part about it was different. And what I mean by that, it's like, it's a 16 team draw. It was no ad. It was one day.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, the reason why Cherries is so special, everyone that signs up for it gets in. So you're going to get all the local Chicago guys. And it's what feeds the Saturday night party. And that's Charity's special sauce. Like how Baltimore, and I get it because there's not as many courts, but that's why you guys can make it as like, okay, it's going to be a 16 team field. We're going to have a shit ton of prize money. We're going to have the people show up for it. We're going to make it no ad. We're going to knock it out in a day. And that's what I think, like all the players did. It was just refreshing. And it was, okay, we know we have Charities the next week. We're going to get good matches in. We're going to make good money. And it was just like, I've never been to Baltimore before. So that's my favorite thing about the paddle season is that's my goal every time I play is trying to find one or two tournaments that I've never played before and just being able to meet people, just seeing what's going on in those communities. So it's it was a fun weekend. That's for sure.
Eric, this is when Noah signs you up for Lagunitas.
I was gonna say for those listening at home, see, Eric's goal is to go someplace fun and obviously win the tournament. My goal is to win one match in the back draw.
I think we can meet in the middle now.
There you go.
If only if I was still working for the AI company that was out of San Francisco, but I don't know if I can go back to Lagunitas.
They had an 8-team draw in Lagunitas last year, and I talked to somebody, the one out of town team who came, guy from Chicago, actually, John Watrous, who is involved with PTI2 now, and he said that it rained again for maybe like the 8th year in a row there. So it's a cool area for a tournament, but it's like in I think the second or third week in January, it always rains. in California at that point. And, they don't have any heaters in the courts and stuff. It's just a tough time to have a tournament there, unfortunately. But cool environment for sure.
Eric, real quick, going back to Baltimore, how do you beat Salazar and Nunes? Like, what's the game plan? What do you guys talk about?
I think I blacked out that match.
Rip forehands, rip backhands.
I'd find out what they were wearing and wore the same outfit as them just to fuck with them. There's gonna be three of us on this court with the same clothes. No, he doesn't. I know he doesn't.
They don't match. It's a little bit of strategy, and I don't want to give too much away, but I think it truly is just Tyler and I being lefty righty, and the easy way to say it is when one of us is feeling it, they're taking the overheads and cutting it up, and maybe it's not only because they're feeling it, but maybe that's the side we need to direct more traffic to, and it just worked. Like if you watch the tape on that match, you always see Tyler taking majority of overheads, and I thought that match it was like 66-33 in favor of me, and that maybe that was just the goal of me taking more overheads at the start of that match, and we kind of fluctuate a little bit of Tyler taking more, and I think it just helps that it's kind of like having a relief pitcher. Like if I'm after 10 minutes of cutting overheads, I'm like, all right, your turn. And then Tyler's cutting up, and then he's like, all right, it's your turn. I just think what Tyler and I will experience, and it's something that we'll have to go through throughout the year, is that we're going to have some really high highs and some low lows. And, case in point, that first round match. But it was clicking. Even from the baseline, I think it was warmer during the day, and at night it got a little bit cooler. So a lot of my drives, they were just landing in. They weren't. It was that sweet spot where I was hitting through them, but it wasn't coming off the back screen a million miles an hour. Like that's just when me personally, I feel like I'm playing my best from the baseline, is that temperature that I'm able to hit through, but it's not, turning into a bouncy ball. So it really worked out. And, it's definitely one that, Tyler, we're taking in the rest of the year. We're confident from that result.
Well, all you got. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let me ask this. I was just going to ask, like, from a club player's perspective. Like, I played in the 90s before charities, and first match is 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something, and the sun's just brutal. And I played with a lefty, and it was fantastic having a lefty-righty combo for the sun. Like, at the level you guys are playing at, I mean, obviously, it's like one more excuse for me to have if I can't see the ball, like it's add to the rest of them. But like at your level, is it such a huge advantage to have lefty righty for sun, or you just figure out how to play the sun because you have to at those matches?
No, 100%. It's kind of funny. We actually welcome sun. We want it to be sunny now. Yeah. It's like, especially if we know we're playing a righty team and that sun's gonna be bad at 9 a.m. for a righty team. We want it. But the thing is, though, everyone gets so used to it. I think how you position yourself, maybe you're just going to hit different types of overheads. And the thing about the sun is that it's going to change. So yeah, it might be crummy at 9 a.m. in a certain spot, but an hour later it's going to be in a totally different spot. And it'd be no different if it rains for the first 30 minutes of the match, and how you just have to handle that scenario. And then, if it ends, then you're going to play a different way, unless you're playing the Midwesterns at 3 p.m. at Hyde Park Country Club. Then the sun fucking sucks for everyone, and you just absolutely give up the net, and it's the worst experience. I love my hometown tournament, but if there's something that I absolutely did not look forward to, it's the quarterfinals Midwesterns at 3 p.m.
Are they north-south?
They're north-south. So everyone is just, their eyes are completely fried.
Nobu, before we move on, where is your cat? It normally makes an appearance and shows its butthole to the screen every time it comes in. Where is the cat tonight? Every time you've been on, it's normally hanging out. I was like, the cat's missing.
One's laying next to me, and the other one she is. I don't
The
know.
other one's on his head. Look at the top of his head right there.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, who's going to play the most tournaments this year? Andrew Ong?
Yeah. If
Andrew?
I were to, I got a power ranking. It's going to go, taking the bronze medal will probably be a tie between Russell Benkeim and
Ooh.
Tomas Christian.
Huh.
Okay.
Silver
I know.
medal.
I know.
For sure go to Dan Hansen. And then
Oh, that's not who I would have gone with.
and
No,
then the gold,
I got one for you.
and then the gold is Andrew Ong. I think
Andrew Ong.
I think I heard a rumor. I think he's trying to play every single APTA tour event.
Why wouldn't you?
You know,
Well, I got to throw one in the mix, and this will be good. Is I think Guillermo Nunez is.
That's who I thought you were going to say.
I heard
Yeah.
a story that he was planning on playing 20 tournaments this year.
Yep.
And Mark was like,
No.
I'm not going to play 20 tournaments with you. So I think more than 2.
yeah, actually, you know what? That might bump Tomas and who did I say was third in there?
Russell.
Hansen.
And Russell.
Hansen.
Yeah.
Russell.
Benkeim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just
that'll be
seen I've
interesting.
just seen Andrew in every draw so far. He was in Medina, Baltimore, Charities, Cleveland.
I think
Could
he
be a
actually
Philly.
played. I think he played Milton Cup and Cleveland at the same time. I think he was flying back and forth to
I
play
don't-
both of his matches.
I love Andrew. Every time I see him, he's the nicest guy. He's always smiling on the court. But somehow the APTA posted a picture of him and he looked angry the other day. On the one I sent it to him. I'm like, you're normally smiling the whole time. This was the only picture they had of you.
Well,
AI
speaking of
generated.
that, do you want to talk about they had match point in the tiebreaker in Cleveland this week? Did you guys see that?
Andrew and
Andrew and Tom Murphy.
oh, did they?
I did.
So Dan
I know
Hansen.
I know that Dan and Dan they had championship point twice.
Well, I'm trying to think. So Dan Hansen hit a cutter, went over the net and came back. And Tom Murphy, to his credit, because he's not a small man, ran all the way up, got to the ball, reached over the net and touched it. And I couldn't hear what the umpire was saying, but Tom was saying he touched it. There was some question on whether he touched it. And there wasn't even a really long argument. They're like, we'll just play it again. But it would have been match point for Tom and Andrew. And they ended up losing that. They ended up losing that match, that tiebreaker a few points later. So I thought kudos to them for offering that up.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that wouldn't offer that up.
Hey, if I ran all the way to the net to get a ball, I'm not giving that one up. You gotta make that one worth it. So what about some of the top new teams this year, man? This is exciting, especially on the men's side. Like so many good teams. You talked about Jose and Alvy. Obviously, you got Eric and Tyler. You got Adam Morgan and Graham.
Yep.
We've got still have Johan and Steven who yet to make an appearance. They will probably be at Detroit. I think I hear is maybe the next one they'll be at. But
Okay.
I mean, talk about Guillermo obviously Guillermo Nunez hasn't even played with Mark Powers yet. But
Yep.
like
Yeah, they play Montclair.
oh, that's right. They played Montclair. You're right. And Guillermo's played with a whole bunch, obviously a couple other guys since then. A couple other new guys that maybe people haven't heard of that are coming in and playing some good high level stuff. I mean, it's crazy some of the teams now that are out there that obviously Alvy and Jose aren't sneaking up on anybody this year like maybe they did last year early in the year.
Can I also give a shout out to a guy that we predicted to make semis of nationals that no one gives any credit to is Robert Steinman. Him and Ong are a good team.
Yeah.
And I think we predicted them to make semis of nationals. And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? And I think they were a couple of points away from beating Araya and
McNerney.
Graham.
That
Yeah.
right
that was probably
in the quarters.
That was probably one of the best matches at Nationals last year,
Yep.
actually. Outside of the finals, it's a bummer it wasn't on a live stream court.
Yeah.
Because you had Juan, who probably has some of the best overheads in the country, testing Robert's backhand.
Yep.
And it was fireworks going off left and right. It was either Juan just dicing it up or Robert hitting this backhand down his throat. Like, it was, every point was unbelievable. I think Graham and Andrew were just standing, like they were just watching.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one-on-one Juan and Robert's backhand.
That backhand is scary, isn't it? He hits it so hard.
I feel bad. I did an interview with the APTA and Charities, and they asked for best drive, and I said Johan's forehand and Mike Wagner's backhand.
No.
Looking back, I should have said Robert's backhand. It's Wags, you're my boy, but I think Robert's got a better backhand.
Dude.
Mike's backhand's unbelievable. So
Yeah. I think to your point, Eric, that was the crazy thing I noticed about Nationals this past year is there was a bunch of good matches that unfortunately people didn't see unless they were there. Like there's gonna be some great matches that happen there, and it's maybe just a function of Nationals and only be able to live stream so much, but really good stuff all around.
yeah. And not to give this away too early, I do want to make my I guess not so preseason prediction anymore, but it ties into this. My prediction for the year for Nationals, a team that has never won Nationals before is going to win it. And when I say that, I'm absolutely not slighting Guy and Mark or Johan and Steven or Juan, but think about this, percentage wise, the field is so deep this year.
Yeah.
There are so many guys that are so fucking good that have a legit shot at winning Nationals. Like, hell, you look at Tomas and Drew. I know Drew's a 4-time national champ, but they haven't won Nationals together. But they pushed, Jose and Alvy the other day. Like, and that could very easily be a quarterfinal match in Nationals. Like, think about it, like quarterfinals, like I think any team that makes quarterfinals Nationals this year should be happy. That's a great result. Any of those 8 teams could win Nationals. And think about this, of those 8 teams, how many of those guys have won Nationals before? So that's where it all ties back to, Alvy and Jose, they're by far the number 1 team in the country now. And they've never won Nationals. So, I think it's one thing when, okay, you don't have that target on your back, but now it's another, like, okay, hopefully maybe Tyler and I get them once or twice this year, but, say with how the season is starting out right now, they go into Nationals, the 1 seed. The last year they were the 5 seed. So that's a big difference with everyone having your back. But, Guillermo and Mark, they're still going to be heavy favorites as well. But I think, remember when Tiger Woods had his run and, ESPN would always say, all right, are we taking Tiger Woods or the field for the Masters? And, everyone was picking Tiger. A scenario like this, like, you got to pick the field because it's so open. Like, look at Tin and Tommy. I think they're not even, I got the rankings pulled up here. Like,
they're like 16, aren't they?
They're 13 now.
13.
After Chicago, but like, again, Tyler and I almost lost to them. So I think that is just a great example of the depth of the game right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, there's that other team I always love watching, and I'm gonna fuck up their names. Friedrich and
Yancey.
Oh my God, I love that team. And that's a team that's out there where if you're a high seed and you have to play them fairly early on, you're like, shit.
Exactly. Another one. I mean, it's just, I got to give credit where maybe it's because a lot of former college tennis guys are getting into the business and they want to continue, quote unquote, their athletic career. But it's just like hell, even look at Milos Davic. So
I was just thinking him. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar with Milos, so Tyler and I played him and Guillermo at Midwesterns last year. I think it was like Milos's 3rd or 4th tournament. And we won, I think it was like 2-2 or 3-2, and I was cutting them up pretty good. And then you look at charities the other weekend, like that was a competitive match. That was a hell of a match. And so to think from January to now, how much better Milos has gotten. It's like, again, that's another guy. His partner, gosh, and I feel terrible for us because he played Enrique. He played Midwest too. I watched him in Baltimore, like, fuck, that's another, like, I'm like, these guys are coming at it everywhere. Like, I think it, so long are the glory days of getting the 0-0 first round match and, Cruz walking to the semis, quarterfinals. Like, you gotta be ready from the first match.
Yeah. Well, Noah and I, our friend, Scott Mansinger, Scott, won nationals, like 50 times. He would always tell you, like, back then it was like quarterfinals was when he had to start thinking. He could kind of cruise through the first matches nice and easy, and quarterfinals he'd kind of get going. But that does not exist anymore.
Well, you know what though? I mean, it's a good point though. I mean, talk about that, Eric. Even so far this year already been involved with like some 3-hour matches or what seemed like 3-hour matches. Like what does that do to you? I mean, like, because especially, I mean, Baltimore is obviously a long day when they're 1-day tournaments and any of these 1-day tournaments, but even charities when it's a couple days, like that's gotta be tough playing multiple matches that are 2+ hours or 3 hours or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I think about this though, with how much better the level's gotten. These are dudes that this is second nature to them. Like, they're very competitive tennis players. A decent amount of them played a little bit of professional as well. Like, not gonna lie, like, this might sound a little cocky, or like, playing paddle tournaments is nothing to what we had to do for college tennis and the day in, day out. So now I'll say this: I'm 34 years old now, so I'm not 22, and the body definitely feels it after I get done with these tournaments. But like when you're in that moment and you understand not only what's going on in the match, but what you have to work for the whole day, like it kind of, you have these like flashback memories of like, oh, this is what you used to do. Like, whether it's junior tournaments or, any long-standing tennis player, I actually, as crazy as it sounds, like it's kind of refreshing a little bit. Like I'm scratching the itch of those glorious competitive tennis days. And I don't know, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, there's some times where I wish I could take a beer and a hot dog out on the court and just fuck around. But this is just as fun. So I think once you get into that mindset, like you kind of push your boundaries, and I think everyone's so competitive that they want to win, so they just kind of put that to the side.
So here's a question, because I was thinking about this after I was watching your semis with Jose and Alvi. And there's only so many things that we can do to the ball now that would change the game, right? So it's because of how good people's hands are, because of how athletic people are. It feels like it's getting harder and harder to end the point, right? Like the cutter used to work, the cutter drop shot used to work a couple years ago. Now everyone knows as soon as you see the racket and the shoulders dip, the elbows down, you just start running, right? So like it doesn't matter what's happening, people are gonna get there. What are things that like we could do or that the APTA could do to like kind of allow, because I feel like there needs to be something where we can kind of end the point, because I hate to say it like this, but it's one of those things where it's like right now a lot of teams can still get away with just sitting there being like, I'm gonna grind for 6 hours and play the most boring paddle in the world, but I'm not gonna miss and I'm gonna win because someone's gonna get mentally just fried, which I understand is part of the game. But from a viewer's perspective too, you can definitely hear it when they're watching. I'll just use you as the example, Eric. Like when you were playing in Baltimore, people were like oohing and eyeing every time you hit a forehand or a backhand. But then there's other teams where it's like they're sitting there lobbing all day and people are kind of like, well, this is kind of going on forever. So like, what are things that you think could change as far as rules wise where maybe we could make the game more exciting?
Can I cut in real quick? I don't think this game's never going to explode like pickleball did. And I don't know. I think that's when you know what you're looking at, it's really fun. Like if you like Alvi and Jose, right? When they were playing, a good example, Johan and Steven at Nationals last year, Johan and Steven tried fucking everything. Johan started smacking balls at him, cutters. They tried going slow and they just couldn't work it out. I don't know. For me, watching it, I was like, I like the differences. I think it's interesting when a team will sit back there and lob 400 balls and wait for one drive. And then if it comes back, they go, okay, let's hit 400 more. I don't know. For me, I think it's really interesting.
Okay.
And they're oohing and ahhing at Eric because he's so damn good looking. That's it.
But this is
They're just like, ooh.
This is coming from a guy who's like comes from a country where they play cricket where the games last 4 days.
4 or 5 days. Yeah.
It's built for you.
I'll happily go sit in a tree stand for like 16 hours and not see anything. So yeah, I'm probably not a good part of the focus group. Yeah.
Well, the weird thing about like, and that's been something that's come up a lot lately, or not the last few years, right? About at the highest level, it's a problem or potentially it's a problem to have those longer matches. Obviously, it messes up draws sometimes. But the reality is, it's only a problem at the highest level, right? It's not a problem for the club players, which are 90+% of the 95% of the matches, right? So I think you have to be almost careful of whatever changes you make just because of that, right? It's only affecting a very small number of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer your question, no, I do have, because all the players, we talk about this, and just a good example that I could maybe think about, because I've picked up this game last couple of years. I've played a ton of squash, and professional squash, what they do is they lower the tin because, so if you think about it, in amateur squash, the tin's higher. You're kind of having longer points. Well, if you do them the professional side, if you keep the tin that high.
Wait. What's a tin?
Like the net. Like it's the lower part of the wall.
Oh, okay.
And
sorry.
so if you hit the tin, right, you lose the point, right? Essentially like you would in tennis or platform.
Got
it. And since the tin was so high, well, you couldn't shoot, which is essentially the equivalent of driving in platform. You had these pros that they were having, 5-10 minute points. So what they did was they lowered the tin. So my kind of thought is, if you think about it, what are the two shots in platform tennis that ends the point? The drive and a missed volley, right? Those are the two most common shots that a point is the reason why it ends. Either someone missed a drive or someone missed the volley. If you lower the net, maybe that welcomes more driving, that could welcome more missed volleys, and that's how you're going to speed it up. So I think, this could tie into what you mentioned though, Ben, is you're still going to reward the teams that could lob all day, but then you're going to reward the teams also that they want to drive and they have less margin for error if the net's lower. And then Philippe and I, we've talked about this too. I think you loosen the screens. So then say if you get a drive through them, it won't come off the back screen as much. But then when you add spin to a cut overhead, a looser screen, it drops down a little bit quicker. So yeah. I think those are two minor adjustments you could make. But that is the beauty of the game. You're going to have teams that are really good at playing fast, and then you have teams that are really good at playing slow. So I don't want it to feel like you're handicapping one side or another. But, I think you could also do things like do a no ad, Do something crazy like you have sets to 5 all or to 5 instead of 6, and you play a tiebreaker at 4 all. Like there's maybe ways we can tweak things not getting out of control and having 4 hour matches. But I do think it's a cause concern because you look at Short Hills last year, and I get it was Super Bowl Sunday, but it's not a good look if one of our best tournaments on the calendar, there's 3 people there because they're playing at 5 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Or did they have some matches like it started at 8 o'clock at night on Saturday or something? Because I think didn't Tomas screw up the draw? He played like some, I think he or Adam Morgan played some really long match and it like messed everything up. I thought.
No, that was me and Tomas. We had a 3.5 hour match with Andrew and Tom in the round of 16, and then we had a 3.5 hour match with Chris and Felipe. The best part
So the usual culprits and all that, basically.
Yeah. No, the best part is Jackie goes, and I love Jackie. She's like, "All right, you ready for your quarterfinal reprieve match now?"
Nope.
I'm like, "Oh gosh, all right." So, hey, my secret out there to everyone, if you want to get a little bit more points, what you do is you just show up on the court for your quarterfinal reprieve match, see if the other team shows up. If they don't, then obviously you get on. And then if they do show up, you just go through the warm up and like, you know what? I don't want to play anymore. Instead of saying, right.
I think it's out there now, unfortunately. Now you told everyone what the secret is.
So then, we could play 1 point, 2 point. Who's gonna outlast the other guy
There you go.
But I don't know. Andrew Ong and I, we've had this discussion. I think quarterfinal reprieves are stupid. Like,
just be done.
You've played your ass off all day. Like I'm all in. Round of 32 reprieve, round of 16 reprieve. You want to get your matches in, but a quarterfinal, that means you already played 3 matches. Like who the hell? And you just lost probably a competitive match too, because you made it to the quarterfinals. Like who the hell wants to be out there other than maybe Dan Hansen and Andrew Ong? And those are the 2 that they want to play. So
But
it's just not for me.
Like you mentioned, different things you do with scoring, like, but the no ad is probably the most accepted maybe thing in tournaments. How do you guys like that? I mean, obviously you did that in Baltimore and it was still a long day, but how do you guys like that doing the no ad at that level?
Love it. And I think every non-Grand Prix and national event should be no ad. I will die on that hill. It makes things more interesting. You get guys that I think you play your best paddle in that point. Like,
sure,
and you're getting better quality from that.
And for people who don't know that are listening, like no ad just means you get the deuce, and rather than having to win by 2 points, it's 1 point basically set and up. What did you do for in Baltimore? Was it server's choice or receiver's choice?
I believe it was server's choice, if I remember correctly.
It was server's choice.
That's the right way to do. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah. That's better than receiver's choice.
But you know what, guys? I thought that too, and I think as a player, it's probably the right move. As a spectator, I kind of want it to be receiver's choice. And hear me out. That guy might fault on that side. The other guy might have a killer return. You're going to get more speed up from it being receiver's choice versus like, okay, for me, example, I'm always going to go deuce side because I can hit a big kick serve to the side screen. And all right, here, let's start the point versus if it's receiver's choice like that, they could already have set plays of blitzing and it could get really interesting if you make it receiver's choice. So it was funny before, all in on server's choice. But I think, if we really want to speed things up, I think you got to do receiver's choice. As you
two are a little bit younger and still playing for a while, what about 2 points? What about 2 points? And now Johan's kind of done after this season, I would think, for the most part. What about 2 points for hitting someone?
You know, I would like that one.
Right? Johan could get a set done in 12 points.
Yeah, just even though we lost them, ask Alvy if he still has Viking tattooed on him.
You had a big tag. Well, Alvy had a ricochet one, which was unfortunate.
Yeah,
Knocked him down a little bit. But there was one that you hit.
Oh yeah.
Just, I mean, the one on the leg was, that
was you?
That was a fun one. But there was one, I forget which one, but that one got the juices flowing a little bit, I think. Did you hit an FYM at them?
it's like the first FYM I ever hit in my life. And I was just, I don't know, for some reason it clicked. I was like, oh, I think this is the right shot. And I just drilled I think I got him in the stomach.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a long point too.
No.
I was thinking, Eric, as you talked about lowering the net height, I'm thinking you might have more of those Alvy situations if you lower it like more than about an inch and a half.
Don't lower the net. I want to.
Hey, just put your paddle there. You won't get hit.
I guess, right? But
Yeah.
like that seems to be one of the most likely consequences.
How'd
Hey,
you? Go ahead, Eric.
No, hey, if you're all in and if you want to see a little bit more action, guys getting hit, lower the net.
How'd you guys enjoy Chicago when you were here?
Oh, love it. It's there. I go back and forth. What's better, there or Jersey for paddle? No,
They're very different.
I know. I think you have a little bit more of the tradition in Jersey, but Chicago, I mean, it's a party, the huts, everything. No, charity Saturday night, there's nothing better. I was so pumped. It was my first time making it to the quarters of charities. So it was just cool to be a part of. Loved every second of it. We had an incredible host family. Like they're members at Glenview, and it was probably like a 5-minute walk from the paddle hut to their house. Like it's such a good setup. Don't know if I'll be back I might be back for Cabin Fever. I'm not 100% sure.
That's a fun tournament.
Yeah,
They
that's
do
a great
job
one.
with that one.
Nobu,
you coming in?
I don't even know when it is.
Between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah,
December 28th.
What? There we go. Like usually a Wednesday or something between Christmas and New Year.
I might be with family on a family vacation. But
Ooh, anywhere nice?
My family wants to go skiing in Vermont.
Okay.
And I actually just booked a heli skiing trip with one of my buddies.
Damn, Nobu's balling. Look at this.
Nationals. Well, I wasn't expecting it, but I got a random text about heli skiing. I was like, dude, I've always wanted to go.
I've done it one time. It was so much fun.
I bet. I mean, everyone I've ever talked to about heli skiing has said like it was the most epic experience.
Mm-hmm.
So
everything out of a helicopter is better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're going hunting in Texas again next year, and we want to go heli hogging while we're out there.
Sick.
You put the straps in, lean out the side, and just mow down hogs as they run across the. Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, you enjoy your vacation. You don't need to come to Cabin Fever.
For people who haven't been to Chicago yet, or for people in Chicago who haven't been to other parts of the country to play, can you talk, you guys who, Nobu and Eric, talk about the huts in Chicago versus like any place else in the country? Just a little bit different, I think, huh?
Oh, it's just another level. I mean, so I guess my question, what was the first mega hut? Like who started this arms race? It was Glenview.
Oh no. Glenview?
Glenview was nowhere near. Glenview was the first one to put like a real nice hut in. For them with charities. No, Exmoor was only 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah,
so it was Glenview, and then I want to say it was Skokie.
Yeah.
Then after Skokie, it was probably Exmoor. Then Knollwood. Did you guys get to play at Knollwood?
Yeah, Noel was. That's probably my favorite, but I haven't
That's
been to
my
Evanston.
favorite.
I haven't been to Evanston yet. I hear that's
Yeah.
sick.
Me
Evanston's
neither.
awesome.
I've seen the video of it, and it looks beautiful.
And there's actually some other nice huts like Inverness where Jonas Merckx is at. That's really nice, but they're too far to host any kind of things like that. But there's getting me a lot of nice places. But it's funny because playing in Chicago, like if all you've ever done is played in Chicago, like you did for years, you think that every place in the country is like that. And I remember like 12 years ago, I went to Cleveland for a tournament. And like at the time, there was no huts in Cleveland. They didn't even have running water and
Nope.
bathrooms or anything. You're like, well, this is different.
I tell you what hut I really like, and I'm guessing it hasn't changed. I haven't been there in forever. Is Nobu's Club, Larendale. It's like an old school hut. It's like that wooden hut. It's got the nice front porch. It's what, 2 courts to the left as you look at it, and 4 on the right.
It's 2 courts on the, well, if you're looking at it from the lawn, it's 2 on the left and 5 on the right.
Oh, okay. But that's a cool old school little hut.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a very underrated hut, and I mean,
Right?
for the DMV, it's definitely the best one that we have. And I've been to a bunch of different places, obviously in the DMV.
Yeah.
Super cool.
A major-
At the bar.
A major shout out to the indie guys, I guess.
Oh yeah, Ludo's Club.
Yes, Meridian. I guess they got done with their Zach Held was telling me. I guess it has like a second story that you
cool.
can view down. It's gonna be the host site for Indy this year. Pumped because those indie guys, they're right up there with like the Pittsburgh guys. Like, talk about a good group of dudes, and you can tell the indie guys they're waiting for a hut like this. And I think Hagman's place is probably one of the coolest venues, but sorry, Brian, your hut stinks, but in the ravine, that's dope. So I guess they're up for a new hut as well. But those indie guys, they're all about their paddle, and it's cool to see, because if you guys think about it, it's an investment that clubs are putting in, and it's just showing the game's growing. In other words, if everyone had a crappy hut, I don't know if anyone would want to play this anyways. Be outside.
You know what happened in Chicago though, and I assume it's probably happened in other places that are putting money in the huts though. Like, it's a big investment, but then once they did it, they found that it makes money because people will go out to the hut, and it's silly to call places like Exmoor a hut because it's basically a sports bar where you can watch paddle, but they pay for themselves because people will go there and eat that once maybe didn't want to get dressed up to go into the club or the main dining room, but they'll go out and eat in the hut, and and they end up paying for themselves by doing that. And then you get a great paddle hut out of the deal too.
Well, most of them here now put in the golf simulator. That's how they kind of sell it to the golfers. Hey, you can now play golf all year round, and then there's casual dining in there. But
and what's that club that we played team nationals at?
Exmoor.
That's Exmoor.
Holy crap!
With the curling?
Yeah. Did you do any curling, Nobu?
No, I didn't do any curling, but I was just like, my jaw was down to the floor when I walked into that place. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think what impresses me most about Chicago, though, is the fact that the public facilities have really nice huts.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, they're good. The tournament that I love, and it's coming up here in a couple of weeks, but they've got 0 huts, is Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if the tournament goes well, I feel like Edwin's going to try and get a hut at Louisville Country Club there.
Is that the Bourbon Bowl?
Bourbon Bowl.
Yeah.
Coming up in a couple of weeks, I think.
Mm-hmm. 2 weeks.
Are you playing?
Maybe. I know Baxter's not going to like me hearing. I don't know. I might be going home that weekend. It's TBD. Still got a week to decide.
Nobu, are you going to play?
I wasn't planning on it. I'm playing Aronimig this coming weekend, so
nice.
You playing with Matt?
Maybe you'll get me the first round. That'll be good for you.
I don't know. Matt and I right now, we still have not found a way to get out of a first round. So
Yeah, play
we're
me.
still
That'll
trying
take
to
care
figure
of it.
it out.
If you get Seidenberg and Hammond against you, you might be okay.
They might take us down. I don't know.
Well, in fairness, I signed up thinking, we get into the kids draw there, the challenger bracket, or whatever they call it. And like I haven't looked tonight because I think today's a cutoff, and like we're still in the big boys bracket, which was disconcerting. So we'll see though. It'll be a good tournament. Philly, JC is such a good dude. I love going. JC's
the man. Big
yeah.
shout out. I hope he. I'm excited for him to come back after his injury here.
Yeah, JC Cotto, good guy at Aronimink Golf Club. They do a great job hosting tournaments there. Yeah. And for people who aren't aware, Philly is hosting nationals at Philly Cricket this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
that'll be good. They do a great job there too. We should probably wrap up since we talked about only doing a half hour. And
I was going to say, we're doing a half hour. It's almost 10 o'clock. Noah, do we want to tell them why we have Eric and Nobu mainly on here today? Do you want to?
Because they're so much younger and better looking than us.
That's it. Yeah, they're taking over for us.
You're speaking for Eric.
They are taking over for us. There's going to be Ara, Eric, and Nobu from now on. We're done. We're kind of stepping away. We're going to leave it to these guys. Much better looking, much smarter,
they're
better
putting
players.
in the practice squad, Eric.
Hey, it's going to be a tall task.
No. I do want to thank Noah, though. Like, it's almost 5 years ago. I called up Noah and said, do you want to start it? We did it. Noah, do you remember who our first guest was outside of Blake? Blake was our first because Blake was hosting with us for a bit.
No.
Who?
No. Anna?
Nope. We had Johan and Steven.
Wow. That was coming out strong.
I know, right? We came firing right out the that might have been where the
it was the beginning of COVID. Nobody had anything else to do, right?
I know. I still remember because Johan might have been the only guy I'd never seen the Tiger King or whatever the hell that show was called.
Oh yeah.
He was upset. Yeah. And then text us all going, what the hell was this you just made me watch? But so before we sign off, I would like to thank doing this with Noah. I want to thank everyone. There was one guy that said no to us. Outside of that, over the course of 5 years, everyone we've asked has come on. They've been super nice and giving with their time and I think I've Amin early on would get angry at me, but he was still supportive of the podcast all the time. He's like, "Then why are you burning paddles and throwing them in the trash?" And he would get angry at us. But everyone's been very supportive of us. It's been fun. Yeah. And not that you ever need to hear from me and Noah ever again, but we would love to come on anytime you need it. But
we'll have a spot for you guys. Don't you worry.
That's awesome.
If you ever need someone to come on and talk shit, I'm always happy. I can piss some people off very quickly if you would like. But no, thank you guys. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Be good.
These guys will do a great job. And, and actually the nice thing about it is we'll have like the perspective from like some real tournament players now too.
I know. no, two guys that, Noah and I have seen more huts than you ever will, Eric, because you generally just go to the main site and Noah and I go to the site that's like 45 minutes away. It might not even be in the same state.
Hey, I'll fill that role. Don't you?
Okay. Thank you, Nobu.
I'll fill that role. Don't worry. Matt probably won't be too happy with me saying that, but until I earn my stripes, I'm Eric. I'll just let you know what the satellite sites look like, and then you can talk about the tournament.
Boots on the ground reporting.
Yeah, I'll be boots on the ground until I get to be forced.
Everybody's got a role, man. Everybody's got a role. That's how it works. That's good. Well, it's been fun, and we'll be on whenever you need us, and appreciate you guys taking over. It's in good hands, and I can tell you the paddle community is looking forward to it, since a lot of people asked us this year what's going on, and so we're back.
It's gonna be fun. You ready, Nobu?
I'm ready, baby.
Fucking
Let's
do
go.
it, boys. Well done.
All right, good stuff. Well, until next time, we'll look forward to a wrap up of something soon. Is that it?
Done.
Sign
That's
off?
it.
Let's do our
Perfect.
intro and outro. This is how we do it,
Till
Eric.
next time.
We now record an intro and outro.
Perfect.
Noah, you want to
Got
do
it.
which one you want?
I'll do intro.
Cool.
All right. Okay, here we go.
Is it
Oh,
my
you-
turn? My turn to
Yeah.
fuck it up now? All right.
Is it just me or is Ben's video delayed for you guys too?
Yes.
It is definitely
Okay.
delayed.
Am I delayed? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's about a 5-second delay. You hear you talking, and then the video for you talking comes. It's kind of funny.
Oh.
It's been that way the whole time, actually.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
Like one of those
Work
old
fun.
kung fu movies from the 80s.
I was gonna
Exactly.
say it's
Get
good.
the subtitles going.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, fade to black. Roll the credits. I am Ben. That was Noah, and thank you for Eric and Nobu coming on and taking over the show. And Ara. We can't forget Ara. Ara's at a hockey tournament.
He's unforgettable.
That his son just won, and hopefully Ara will be on soon to update everyone on his arguments with Jay Waldenberg. I had to get one more Jay Waldenberg thing on before we're gone. So thank you for everyone having us. We're out of here.